Okay, so Waminjaka, we're here with the great Wayne Thorpe, Stevie Thorpe, and Kurt Sheehan coming to you from all over the bloody country. But we're here to talk a little bit today about caring for country, one of the wonderful topics that Wayne has brought to our attention through the many Earth Wisdom gatherings and camps that we've had. And it's such an honor to be with you today, Wayne, and always great to hear the message and the stories that you've got to share with us. And I think around the country, and especially in Victoria, you know, people are dealing with this lockdown sort of stuff, and it does have an impact. And I think this little recording hopefully can go out and share some knowledge, share some information and some focus points. You know, let's not focus on the virus. Let's focus on the healing. Let's focus on our connection to country. So let's begin. We'll get started and just give us that basic sort of caring for country, where you're coming from in sharing that message. I think that's a good starting point.
Yeah, I've noticed how people are really affected by what's going on at the moment, and looking at ways to feel a bit more positive in themselves and in what's going on. A pandemic like this can get people's energy down and low, and therefore, by having low energy, that sort of brings in or leaves the door open for illness to come in, and that unbalance. So as a part of raising people's energy and plus giving back to Mother Earth, well, I thought, well, let's do something collectively, because then collective conscious energy helps heal ourselves, helps heal the land.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a great focus point, isn't it? Because, you know, in a Western sort of way, we're often looking at the self-healing, the self-challenge. We're looking at our own kind of position, and we forget that connection to land, to country, to trees, to that natural world. We can get sort of caught up in our own story.
But self-healing's good. We need to heal ourselves before we can heal others. So here's an opportunity to do a bit of both. Heal ourselves at the same time, heal Mother Earth and show our appreciation to nature. One thing that I did notice is since the lockdown began, I've noticed around the world how nature has had an opportunity to heal herself. You know, the pollution levels have gone down. They see in the Himalayas for the first time, people that live in that area. In Venice, the water was much more clearer. And here in this country, you know, the air is a bit more fresher. You know, and people are getting out and about and doing their exercise and their walkings and stuff. And so that's fantastic. But here's an opportunity to do something collectively, for wherever they may be.
And what are the ways in which you connect to country, Wayne? What are the practices, the types of things people can do to bring a full embodiment to that connection to country? It's a tricky one. We tend to walk around through country sort of asleep to the natural world, don't we, at times? And so what are the things that what are the different ways people can connect to country?
Well, consciously being aware of connecting with nature, and what nature provides for us. So, for instance, our oxygen comes from the plants, from Mother Earth and Father Sky and Grandfather Sun. And so showing our appreciation for that, just like our sunrises, you know, our great and grandfather sun, we're showing our appreciation for what the sun brings and provides for us. And so everyone needs to have good oxygen to breathe, therefore to stay alive. So if we can do an exercise that helps us realize that, and then do a meditation to help us focus our conscious energy into the land, well, then that will help ourselves as well as Mother Earth.
Mm.
I really like what you're saying, Wayne, about that developing appreciation. I think it's sometimes, whenever I've been walking around and talking to people, that generally the focus can be on, the downside of what's happening now. Again, it's that same thing of being really concentrated on our own experience of it. And what I'm getting from what you're saying is, it's like by breaking out of our own mental kind of little prison that we've got around how this is a terrible change, we can come to see that we actually still have something to give. We definitely have something to give.
Oh, for sure. And especially at that time like now, where people need to build up their own immune systems, by breathing is one of the best ways to do that. Build up our own energy, and then, so people talk about giving things back. We want to give things back. Well, here's an opportunity to give something back to Mother Earth. Mother Earth has provided for us. All the natural resources have helped people get wealthy and live and be able to eat and have good food. So if we focus our energy on get more good food, more good oxygen, well, then we're giving back and we're benefiting from that energy. So if we can do a meditation, a collective meditation, and so within that meditation, you're doing a little bit of a breathing exercise to appreciate the need for oxygen. And then when we're relaxed and doing our breathing exercises, we're concentrating that energy to flow into Mother Earth, into the root system, the network of root systems, into the plants, into the birds and animals, the insects, everything of nature is focused on.
Mm.
However, people do that within their meditation from wherever their awareness is of Mother Earth. And therefore the appreciation of Father Sky. Father Sky contains the air, the oxygen that Mother Earth produces. The sunlight provides that heat and the warmth and that vitamin D and the energy that helps the plants grow. So things like this, the awareness, the awakening, the appreciation can be shared and put out there collectively by masses of people, and thinking about their area where they live and therefore providing that energy into that area. So one thing that a lot of people feel, they feel like they're disconnected from Earth. They're disconnected from the country. One guy asked me, how do we connect? I said, well, what do you mean? Help me explain what you mean. And he said, well, I feel like we're not part of this country truly like you are, Wayne, being a traditional custodian. Well, wait on. Being of the country. These English words really get tangled up because of their legal use and terminology and what they really mean. So being connected with country is a part of connecting with nature, and not just taking from nature, but giving some back. So these are the important things of being of the country, where you're living with Mother Earth, not just from her.
Mm.
Thanks, Uncle Wayne. I'd like to ask a question just around also with the current challenge of the coronavirus. We've seen a lot of things around the world in regards to the Black Lives Matters movements and protests here in Australia as well. And just in connection with that, I'd like to understand the relationship, and maybe some viewers out there like to understand the relationship between connecting to country and that healing that can take place between us all in regards to those issues.
Yeah, one of the things that that people have that started Black Lives Matter concern in the first place was the attitude towards people. The police force have that sort of attitude towards black people. Now that's probably well ingrained within them from wherever and over the centuries. And so, you know, it's something that needs to be awoken in people, in their conscious being, so they're consciously aware of what happens. The laws of law states, if you kill another, well, then that spirit has the right to enter your body. And so, and then karma energy sets in, and then you will have to make balance. So if people can be aware of them sort of things, well, then they might stop killing. But at the same time too, what I've noticed in this country here, we're not just responding to what's going on in America, we're also screaming out of what's going on in this country. And so if people can learn to appreciate the people of country, then they can learn to appreciate the country, not just use it up for its natural resources. It's not about, life's not necessarily about just becoming rich and at all costs and dominating and subduing everything. It's about having some respect and making balance as you go along. So therefore, you are not collecting karmic energy, because you will, the universe will make sure you pay it back. So just being aware of them sort of things helps you relax and breathe and put back into the Mother Earth.
Thanks a lot for that, Wayne. That's
That's
really
my awareness
quite
of
a few things
what's
up.
needed.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry, Kurt.
Oh no, I was just going to say that's really wrapped quite a few things up for me, and just that explanation there. No, I really appreciate that, Wayne. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and I think for me, the other thing to just highlight in what I've learned through you and through Uncle Max and the ceremonies we've done on land, on country, is that, you know, that holistic view. So you've talked about breathing, but there's looking after country is dancing, it's singing, it's gathering, it's a whole bunch of, you know, singing to nature, singing to the trees. And Uncle Max talks about that you know, the rocks hold the knowledge, so that we sing into those rocks, we sing into those trees, and that energy is therefore enhanced. So it's there's sort of those other dimensions as well. I remember that great ceremony we did down on Birrarung in Wonga Park, Wayne, where we did that river blessing ceremony. That's always stayed with me as such a beautiful, you know, representation of Koori culture.
Yeah, exactly. That's, you know, looking into nature, looking into the river in that instance there. We were looking into the river and looking at the way the little eddies spin, and which way they spin and how they're caused to spin, and thinking about what we're noticing on the surface, and then really thinking about what's going on underneath. And so that brings us back to what's going on today. On the surface, people look like they're happy and they're content and they're going about their business. But in the depths of them, there's a lot of things that are uneasy and you know, not at ease. And so, you know, there's a lot of concern, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of confusion going on. You know, do it this way, then now do it this way. Wear the mask, don't wear the mask. There's this many numbers dying. There's this many people sick now. It's all about fear and numbers and statistics. And it becomes very concerning, because, you know, people are really concerned and feeling unwell about all that fear and that confusion. And then therefore that lowers people's vibrations and lowers their guard. So once their guards drop, you get hit. And so we don't want people to get hit. We don't want people to get sick. So we want to help people pick up their guard and protect themselves. By breathing, you protect yourself with your immune system from the inside out, and you protect yourself. Your aura, your energy aura, is a protective field from anything to come in. So it's a way of protecting ourselves, and at the same time giving back to Mother Earth, feeding that energy into the earth, feeding that energy into each other, and supporting each other on a positive energy rather than the negative energy that seems to be governed in this country at the moment. And just to pick up on your introduction on this bloody country, we want to stop bleeding, stop digging up, and stop harming this country, and stop Mother Earth from bleeding. In that sense, we've got to help her heal.
Yeah. Yeah, whacking me with the bundi, or
Add that to the front.
No, it's beautiful, Wayne, and it gives.
Well, it's not necessarily whacking you with anything. It's that awareness that people need to be able to come forward and pull them sort of things up. If we don't get the wording right, what are we putting out there? You see? And so, just like they say, Black Lives Matter, so do women's lives matter, and stop the domestic violence. So we need people to be able to stop people when they see them things. You see, it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
It's that sort of stuff. So let everyone carry bundi.
That's the solution.
Yeah, I often hit Kurt with the big bundi, but it's like a blow up hammer, so it doesn't really hurt. You know, it's sort of just a sting.
Yeah, you don't have to hurt or harm. You just need to remind. Sometimes that hurts people enough.
Yeah.
It hurts their ego. But once they can relax into their true spirit, well, then the ego doesn't lead them anymore.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that was fantastic talk, Wayne. I really feel like I got a lot out of that. And no, thanks for coming and being part of this. Thanks heaps, Stevie, for coming along too, and thank you, Rob, for getting it all happening.
Yeah.
So I think one way that this can be used is if we put this out there on the Earth Wisdom page or Facebook page, as an introduction. Here's the reasons why. Here's the purpose of it all. Here's the intention. And so with that, then people can have a bit of an insight and prepare themselves for however they do meditation, however they do breathing, to be able to do that on this day that we call for a collective.
Mm.
So just like they do Earth Hour, they switch off the lights for an hour at a certain time and date. Well, we could do the same sort of thing. Let's breathe and meditate at a certain time and date collectively.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds good, and we'll put notice of that. That'll be coming up soon for people to attend, probably on Zoom, and do their meditation in their neck of the woods, in their little place, in their home, in their backyard, in their local park. And as Wayne said, it's about using what you have gained over your life. You might have studied a certain meditation or a certain martial art or breath work, and turning that intention, turning that good resource, that good feeling, that good process into the earth. You know, I think that's the link that Uncle Wayne's really emphasizing here for people to to bring that good energy into the earth, you know, through themselves, but yeah, into the earth. So I think that's a wonderful invitation that'll be coming up soon.
And that doesn't have to just happen on that one time. Once people got this awareness, they can do it everywhere and anywhere they feel the need to do it.
Yeah.
So every little cent counts, they say. Every little bit counts.
Yeah.
And doesn't have to be on Zoom or Facebook or anything like this either. They can just do it at that time.
Yeah.
That way they can focus on what they're doing rather than looking at themselves.
Yeah. Okay, and I thought we might end with a song, Wayne. Might be nice to
Yeah, sing a song, Rob.
yeah, sing a song, Rob. Yeah. Well, how
Good
about a
idea.
song, Kurt?
Push play.
Passing the baton. How about a little song to finish up, Kurt? Men throughout the ancient history of this land have sung together. I know in my Celtic lineage, men sung together. And so we're going to finish this little recording with a song. So unmute yourselves and join in. What are we going to sing, Kurt?
Well, you mentioned that one that we did along the Yarra, along the Birrarung.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we'll do that one.
Lovely.
Birrarung, Yarra, Yarra. 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 Birrarung, Yarra, Yarra.
Yeah, that's keeping the energy flow. See? That's the energy that flows through the city of Melbourne. That's the Yarra River, that's known as Birrarung.
Yeah.
And that's the energy flowing. Just like all rivers, the energy is flowing. So part of this meditation is to help that energy flow into Mother Earth through the network of root systems.
Beautiful.
Through the mother.
Through the mother. And
Through the
thanks,
mother.
gentlemen. We really enjoy these moments to connect, and we're doing the best, aren't we, online or however we can to stay connected. We encourage people to do that, to reach out to friends, to reach out for those good, nourishing conversations like this one, and put your focus into things you can control in a sense, or things that you can do. And we can definitely turn our attention to the Mother Earth. We can give her our blessings and our prayer and our meditation, and that's something simple we can all do to shift our focus and to feel that goodness of just being alive today, being on the earth, and being in that care, that beautiful radiant care of the Mother Earth. That's something we can do. So signing off for now. We'll put some more notices on the page to connect. Final word, Mr. Wayne Thorpe, from you and the other men.
Well, yeah, go and let the mother fellows talk first, and then.
Okay. Final word from you, Stevie.
Yeah, no, it was great to hear you share, Uncle Wayne, and get to ask you some questions about connecting to country and that message for people out there that are a bit lost or imbalanced, you know, out of balance is how I sort of see it. And I think it's really about getting back our balance, you know, so that it doesn't matter what sort of storm comes our way or what punches are thrown, we sort of stay on your feet and keep walking forward. You know, what better way of finding that balance than connecting back to the source of where we come from, which is, you know, it's millions of years of history of belonging, and we'll go back there when we die. So our bodies go back to the earth, and you know, we can get overwhelmed and stressed, but I like to see this time as a challenge for us, that we can and then therefore it's not a stressful time. It's just it's a challenge for us all, and we're all in it together. Let's connect in with ourselves, with our families, with the land, and with each other, and through the mother.
Through the mother.
Well, listening to you, Wayne, and the way that you brought those ways of connecting the country this time, it just really reminded me of that the great value of eldership. I've just turned 50, and I realize that I'm at this point in my life where I probably have needed that sense of having an elder more than any other time in my life. And yeah, it's just it's a wonderful thing to feel that sense of eldership from you, and knowing that you have your elder there too, and Uncle Max, and that whole continuum that then goes on to the mother and to the Father Sky. So thanks again, Wayne. Through the mother.
Through the mother.
Through the mother.
And Rob?
Yeah, I think for me it's a great reminder of my place in the world, and that element of respect that you so rightly pointed out this morning, and paying that respect, being active in that process, rather than sort of waiting for it to happen. In a sense, where you're gathering with the Earth Wisdom, or you're gathering with a certain friendship group. I'm just thinking more of that, individual responsibility, and nurturing that in myself, because those deeper connections, say, to the Mother Earth, the Father Sky, the Grandfather Sun, and the Grandmother Moon, those connections are really, really actually vital in terms of feeling held and feeling the love of those elders that gave rise to us, gave rise to Earth and this possibility of existence. So, it goes right back, as Kurt said, and it's a reminder to pay my respects through my attention and my love and my song and my dance. Yeah, through the mother.
Through the mother. Yeah. That's good words that you've all got, and that appreciation of hearing things, and it helps me realise too that people do need to hear their elders speak, and it helps them focus on their own journey. What's the best practices to do, and things like this to get to do respectful things, and to get to do good things, with consciously aware of doing things, because we do tend to just go along and think that there's a master plan and it's on autopilot and all this kind of thing, but what we think, say, and act, and our deed does have an effect on ourselves and everything around us. So we've got to be careful of what we think, say, and act and react about things. So if people can be at peace with themselves, they can be at peace with everything else and everyone else. And so I suppose part of the meditation and the breathing exercise is to have ourselves centered, so then we can share that appreciation. By doing that, it heals ourselves and everything else around us. So, and if the other thing too, if anyone wants to donate any sort of monies towards a good cause, we have a non-for-profit organisation, Back to Country. There's a website, www.backtocountry.com. There's a link there that we can help understand or be aware of what Back the Country does, who's involved in Back the Country, and different links to explain all these different things, and also the link for donations.
Yeah, and I think you'd agree that one of the foundations for that is that really caring for country. You know, we saw you guys, including yourself and Uncle Max, doing those ceremonies up in the Snowy River country when was that? Last year, and you know the value of that cultural practices. So Back to Country, you're supporting these types of things because it costs money to get everyone up to the snowy country and to do those types of events and rituals and ceremonies on the land. So you know that's the kind of thing you're supporting. It's real action on the ground. I know when I made a donation last year, Uncle Max was immediately had a place for that money to go to help. And you know the thinking is very community. We'll get those young fellas out there on after the fires have passed, and we'll do some, I think he said, looking after the little ones, the little critters and the little things, will help them out in some way. So yeah, there's always that money always goes to great endeavors in my experience of it.
Yeah, our totems are suffering within all these bushfires and this clearing of land. So it's that sort of awareness. And I'm not asking people to protest or get angry about these things. I'm just calling for people to be aware of it and find things that they can do that's going to support and value Mother Nature.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, well that's a beautiful wrap on this morning's talk. As I said, we'll keep people posted. We'll be doing a few things in the future around a grandfather son ceremony, and also a Mother Earth meditation, which Wayne has invited that we do as a collective from your place on the land, and we'll share those things with people through the Earth Wisdom Facebook page. But thanks for your time this morning, Wayne. It's always a pleasure to connect, and Stevie as well, and Kurt, my good brothers, loving your work, and we look forward to catching up soon.
All right,
Through the mother.
Through the mother.
Through the mother. Thanks, Rob.
That's through the respect law of Mother Earth.
Yeah. Beautiful.